I want to tell you a story about how overcoming your fear and believing in yourself and in your future and in your dreams will help you to manifest a life you could never even dream of. And it all starts with believing that you can have something more than what you have now. Believing that life doesn't have to be how it is now. That being an entrepreneur doesn't have to be hustle, grind and burnout, constant hamster wheel that goes round and round and you can never seem to jump off. And I want to tell you my story of how I overcame my fear. How I went from being so scared for my life, being so small, being someone that I didn't even recognize, to manifesting the life that I have now, to being a serial entrepreneur, to having 2 multiple 6-figure businesses, to manifesting a house I could never even imagine having previously, to being able to go on trips around the world whenever we want to without having to worry, and being in the flow of fun, freedom and fulfillment, because that's what we're here to experience, right? That's what life is for. We're not here to suffer. We're not here to live mediocre lives, just doing the same old thing day in, day out, not really ever feeling fulfilled, not really ever knowing what we're here to do, not really ever even questioning it. And so many of us spend our lives trapped in that spot, in that mindset, in that paradigm, because it is all we know. And sometimes you can't see the wood through the trees. You don't know what you don't know. You can't Google a blind spot, right? You don't know that there's even another way, a better way. You just take it for what it is. And you just lay down and you say, this is my life. This is all I'm capable of. This is all I'm meant for. I'm not like them. I can't do what they do. I can't be what they are. I can't achieve what they can achieve. I can't be that successful. I can't make that much impact. I can't be legendary. I can't be a visionary. I can't be someone extraordinary. I'm not capable of that. I'm just going to muster through. I'm just going to take what life has given me. It's the way the cookie crumbles, right? Wrong. And I want to tell you how it's wrong. Because that just comes from the paradigm that you know. It comes from the life that you've built around you, from the thoughts, from the beliefs, from everything that you've taken on as your own through your childhood, through your surroundings, through your family, through your schooling, through your friendships, through the work situations that you've been in, through the media that you absorb. It has built the person that you are now. And that's not your fault. Most people don't even know that that's happening to them. And they just think that that's who they are. Yet they always feel that yearning, that burning, that bubbling, that bolstering away, knowing that you're meant for something more, but never really delving into it, never really believing that it's possible. It's just that niggle that we let build and build and build until one day we say, enough. This is not the life that I want. This is not the life that I'm meant for. This is not the life that I envisioned myself living. How did I even end up here? How did I end up here? And how do I change this? Because everything feels like it's cemented in, right? You feel like everything that you have in your life is always going to be that way. You might move house, you might get a new car, you might change your friendship circles, but it feels like the walls are around you. You can only go to the borders. You can never cross them. You don't even know what's on the other side because it's invisible to you. It's out of your perception. It's from a different lens and you can't see it. So how do you scale those walls? How do you climb over? How do you smash through them? How do you get them to be tumbling down? when you don't even know they exist in the first place. Because 95% of the population don't. They just live within that almost invisible cage. And they know they feel restricted. They know they feel confined. They know they hear that yearning within them. But they don't know how to overcome that. And that was just what happened to me. I spent 15 years in that invisible cage, within those walls of confinement, and I couldn't work out how to scale them. I knew I didn't want to be there, but fear kept me in. Fear of the unknown, fear of change, fear of uncertainty, fear of failure, right? How many of you fear failure? So much so that you don't even try. Because I know I did. Hell, I've even got a tattoo of it on my back. Do not be afraid to fail. Be afraid not to try. That's what my tattoo says. And it's being able to overcome that fear, to give yourself a chance, to give your life a chance of change, to give your future self a chance to arrive, to give the life that you dream of, the desires that you have, the experiences that you want to have, the impact that you want to create in this world, the legacy that you want to leave. Give it a chance. And if you are always hiding, you always stay in the shadows, you always keep yourself small because of that fear, fear of judgment, fear of failure, fear of rejection, blah, blah, blah. How many times have we told ourselves those narratives, right? But it all comes down to one thing: having faith in yourself, having faith in who you are, having faith in what you are capable of, having faith in that voice inside of you that tells you you are meant for more. It tells you that you are here to do something more than what you are doing now. It tells you that you are here to make a big impact in the world, to empower others around you so that you can help them rise, so that you can help them go through their mountains, overcome their hurdles, and soar like the phoenix from the flames, just like you have done. But you have to do it first. You have to do it first. You have to go through that fire. And you have to emerge brighter, bolder, stronger than ever before. Because it's on the other side of that. That is where your growth is. That is where your expansion is. That is where your future is. Don't let the fear stop you from even trying. Because otherwise, nothing will change. Because nothing changes if nothing changes. We know this. We know this, and yet we stay the same. We're so scared of change that we will do anything we can not to have it. We will cling on to things that we know aren't meant for us. We will keep things in our lives that we know aren't good for us, that don't feel right, that are stopping us from change. Because we're scared of the change. It's not your fault. It's what your brain is programmed to do. Your amygdala, your fear center, is literally on high alert anytime it senses change. It's trying to pull you back into the old paradigm, into the old way of being, into your comfort zone, even if it is not comfortable. It would rather you stay there than step into the unknown, than step into who knows what. It does not like the thought of that. And your job is to override that programming, is to disrupt that programming, is to deny that programming, and to take charge of it, to hack the system, to rewire the networks, and to make your own rules. Because you're the one that gets to decide. You're the one that gets to decide what your life looks like. You get to decide what you're capable of. You get to decide how big you play. You get to decide how much of an impact you can create. You get to decide what your dreams are. And your dreams are yours for a reason, because you are meant to follow them. They are your soul's whisper. They're not the ego, they're your soul. And your soul is here for a reason, to express through you, to create through you. Divine intelligence is always wanting to express and create through the human vessel. That is what your dreams are. And now that you know that, what is stopping you? What is stopping you from living it, from manifesting it, from experiencing it? The only way that you do that, the only way that you change your reality is by changing your personality, because your personal reality is created by your personality. We know this from neuroscience. So in order for you to see, to feel, to be, to experience something different in your world, you have to become someone different. You have to be in order for it to come. You have to change who you are, how you think, what you do, your habits, your thoughts, your actions, all make up who you are, your personality. And if that creates reality as it is to you, then there's only one way that you get to change that. There's only one way that you get to go from here to here. There's only one way that you get to be the person that you want to be. You get to experience the things you want to experience. You get to live the life that you know you desire to live, by becoming a different version of you. By becoming. Sounds simple, right? It is and it isn't. Because once you know, you have awareness. And awareness is key. Because you can't change what you don't know. Like I said earlier, you can't Google a blind spot. You have to be aware first. And once you're aware, that's where the change happens. That's where the transformation happens. That's where you get to hack into the system and you get to reprogram the script. You get to change the plans. You get to lay out your own path to follow. You get to change the rules. You get to break the chains. You get to smash the ceilings. You get to choose. You get to decide. And you get to become the person you were always meant to be. Before society got its hands on you, before limiting beliefs absorbed you, before fear consumed you, you get to choose. You get to take back control. You get to be who you always wanted to be. Now ask yourself, who do you want to be? Who do you want to be? Because clarity is key. If you don't know where you're going, you're just going to go round and round in circles. And you're always going to end back where you are now, because that is your current paradigm. That is your current reality. That is where your current personality keeps you. So if you want something different, if you want to experience a different life, a different way of being, you need to know who you need to be. What does that person look like? Do you look different? What do they do in their day? What do they experience? What do they eat? What are their habits? What are their thoughts? Who are their friends? Where do they hang out? What kind of life do they have? Who are their clients? How much do they charge? How much money do they attract into their orbit? Because once you get clear on all of these aspects, that is when you can start to become. That is when you can quantum leap into this next version of you. That is when you get to experience this new life. The life that fear kept you from. The life that you were chained from. The life that you had denied access to. the life that was just behind the code and you couldn't work it out. No matter how many times you tried, it was never the right code. You could never break through the door. It would never crack open. But now you get to decide. You get to choose. You get to change. Because when you change, your whole world changes. When I overcame my fear and I was able to become someone else, my whole life changed overnight in the grand scheme of things. From 15 years of being restricted, confined, contained, small, hidden, fearful, I went to being bold, bright, badass, right? I went to embracing, embodying, integrating who I wanted to be. I was in control. I was in the driver's seat. And I had the map. And I knew where I was going. And I knew my destiny. I knew my end goal. I knew my North Star. And all I had to do was press go and follow the path and see the opportunities that the universe gave to me on the way. See the signs. See the beauty as you're on the journey, right? You don't want to go through the journey with blinkers on, only focused on your end goal. That's not the point. That leads to one thing: lying on your deathbed, looking back at your life, wondering what the hell happened. You're here to experience. The fun is in the journey. The fun is in the growth. The fun is in the expansion. The fun is in the freedom that you get to build around you. The fun is in the fulfillment that you get from embodying your purpose. And when you're in the driver's seat and you're taking in the beauty of your journey and you're following the destination of your North Star, of your purpose, of your passion, of what you are here to do, well, that is magical. That is where magic happens. That's when your business starts to boom. That's when you start to magnetize your dream clients. That's when you start to create those opportunities that seem to come from nowhere but were there all along. That's where you see synchronicities in the world around you. That's where the universe moves mountains to give you what you are meant for, to provide what you are here to do, to give you the opportunities that you could never see before, that you would never say yes to before, even if you did see them, because you weren't that person. You weren't that person yet. And you're not them now, or you would be living that life already. So you need to realize that in order for you to experience a different life, you have to be different. And there's nothing wrong with you now. You can go on living your life exactly as you are if that is what you're happy with. But if you feel that yearning, if you feel that burning, if you feel that bursting, wanting to break free from you, wanting to express, wanting to create, wanting to be unleashed into the world, then that is what you are here to do. And that is what you have to step up to the plate to do, because you are here for a reason. You are here to be a visionary. You are here to do great things in the world, but you have to believe it. You have to believe it to achieve it. You have to believe it to see it. You have to believe it to experience it. And that is when you will manifest it. And that is when you will be it. And it all comes back to overcoming your fear in the first place. To allow yourself change. To allow yourself to be someone else. To experience something else, to live the life that you want to live, to create the impact you want to make, and to manifest your dreams into your reality. Can you overcome that fear? Can you step up to the plate? Can you do what you are here to do? I hope you can.